So I made this video today. A couple hours ago I posted it, and I had some replies that I wanted to address. I'm talking about how kids who grow up in single-parent households have a higher rate of antisocial behavior than kids who grow up in two-parent households. And so a lot of people commented, I'll get to those comments in a minute, but the point was that there is no incentive now for women to be with men economically in most of the world, especially Ireland, right? Because it pays more in most cases, in most countries, in most developed countries, to be a single mother than to be with a person, like to be married to somebody. So men are being devalued and replaced by government assistance economically. My point was that there's more than just economic reasons to be married and to have a father in the kid's life, and to have him in the life of the child consistently. And part of it is this, that kids who grow up in single-parent household make kids 900% more likely to grow up with antisocial behavioral issues. And I said, I think Ireland is trying to promote single motherhood by paying women way more to stay at home and have babies than to go to work and get paid a regular hourly wage. And I gave some examples and all of that. But it's true, like if there's not an economic reason to stay with the husband or the father, right, which is now kind of obsolete. Men are obsolete in economics for women who don't mind just living off of normal, income. Like I mentioned in the video, women in Ireland with like 4 children can get between 2,000 and 3,000 a month, 2,000 euros to 3,000 euros a month in assistance for being both a single mother and the child's allowance and the other things that come with that, council housing and everything else. Like there's a lot of benefits to being a single mother, especially in Ireland. But once they become involved with a man, once they start a relationship, they're in jeopardy of losing those benefits. So it incentivizes women to not find a partner, to not find a mate, and to stay single and to just get, accommodated by the government. This is true, not just in Ireland, this is true everywhere. It's not like it's just help or basic assistance. I mean, it is a lot of assistance. It's a lot of extra. And it comes because of the single mother status, not because, the mother status or not because of the child status, but because of being a single mother. There is a lot of benefits to that in Ireland and elsewhere. Now, I've got a current experience. I mean, I have a month-old baby. I've never even gotten to talk to her yet. I am desperate to be the father. I'm probably not going to have that opportunity. I get pictures that get sent off to me, but everybody gets the same ones. It's like whatever's posted on social media, the mother sends my way too. Like I'm supposed to feel great about that or something. I don't know. I will probably never be able to be a part of this kid's life. And the grandmothers told me the first day she found out, told the mother of the child, the first day she found out that she was pregnant, that I would never have my name spoken around that child or at her house ever. So, I mean, the mother has a bunch of children with a bunch of baby daddies, like 9 children, 7 baby daddies. And so I just think that it's generational. This continues to happen. The mother of my child had many, many fathers and many, many years as a single mother. And, she still got supported by the government, the benefits, the child allowance, everything else that single mothers get. I mean, everybody gets a child allowance, but then there's additional allowances for being a single mother in Ireland. And it just seems very generational as of like the 70s or 80s, And the only way that I can really explain this is to make a chart to show, like during those times when welfare started being introduced, where government intervention came in and then single parenthood came in directly after, and then crime rates went way up. And that's my point about this. That's what's so scary for me, is that the crime rates go up, meaning that the kids that grow up in these single parent households are what many studies say are 900% more likely, 9 times more likely to experience antisocial behavior and criminal activity and teenage pregnancy and suicide and depression and everything else than kids that come from a two-parent household. Now, I don't mean to offend single parents. One of the people that I love the most in the world who raised me was a single parent, my grandmother, who, I never knew her with a husband because she outlived 3 husbands before I was even born. So she raised her 5 children, and then she raised 9 grandchildren, at least partially, and was a single mother the whole time I knew her. She was still raising kids at 77 years old and working a full-time job as an LPN. I have great respect for that woman. I always will, I always have, and she was a single mother. I know that not all kids come out of a single-parent home with problems, and I know not all kids come out of a two-parent home successful. I know that there's a gray area there, but I'm just saying it's far more likely for someone who's in prison to come from a single-parent home than from a two-parent home. 900% more likely, at least according to USA statistics. And I worry about that for my daughter, that's coming. So I'm going to post this because of these comments here. She says, wow, above lady said, horrific statement to make. I don't know who that was, unless it was this Valerie person. Nasty thing to say, horrific statement. So the statement they're referring to, I'm guessing, is this: kids who grow up in single parent households makes kids 900% more likely to grow up with antisocial behavioral issues. I think Ireland is trying to promote single motherhood. So the state becomes more involved and they get more control. I think that's the point. And so there's another statement here on my own wall someone left. It says here, she says, "Are you for real with that shite? The English left millions to starve in Ireland during the famine because they thought it would coal an overpopulated country which arose through the idle, laziness, and self-indulgent fornication habits of its people. Now we have the Yanks who think women are being paid to fornicate in order to overpopulate again. Grow the fuck up and load your gun properly before you go around shooting your mouth off. I'm a single parent and not to antisocial thugs. How dare you?" And then I replied, and I gave her this TED Talk from this guy, Kent D. Ballard Jr., and he talks about the lifelong impact of absent fathers, right? And I said to her, if you listen to my video and not just pick clips, I stated clearly that not all kids who come from single-parent homes have these issues. And I said not all kids who come from two-parent households will have those issues. I also came from a single-parent home. My grandma raised me for a good part of my childhood. She outlived 3 husbands. She had been a single parent so long that I never met any of her husbands. She was raising kids at 77 years old and doing a bang-up job of it, raising many grandkids on top of raising 5 of her own. What I stated is true. I did not say Ireland is paying single mothers to have children. I did say that it appears to be a government-funded method to stimulate population. I never said anything about the English either. That has zero to do with that. However, I would be on your side on the Irish versus English issue. So I just wanted to address those comments. I think it's important.